Let's predict the playoffs. Let's predict how this is going to go. And listen, yeah, we're out. Okay. It is what it is. Can't control it. So let's just talk about what we can control, which is what's going to happen, in my opinion. All right, starting off right away, I think the Bills are going to beat the Broncos. I think the charade is over for the Broncos. Shout out to them for making the playoffs for the first time in 9 years. Shout out to them for, accomplishing that. And to be honest, Bo Nix is an absolute legend rookie quarterback. All the stuff they accomplished this year. Shout out to them completely. Shout out to Brandon Pernin, by the way, for that. But I think the Bills will take care of business and get the job done versus the Broncos in the wild card, okay? I would love to sit here and tell you that the Ravens are going to lose to the Steelers, right? And we just played the Steelers, and obviously we barely won and whatever. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'll be honest with you. I think the Ravens will go ahead and beat the Steelers. Here's what I'll say, right? The Steelers always play the Ravens tough. They do. It is AFC North battle. The first time they played them, the Steelers won. The second time they played, the Ravens won by 17. Steelers are on a really, really bad tear right now. They've lost, I think, the last 5 games of the season. They're not looking good. They're collapsing. They did what they did last time they made the playoffs, and then they lost to the Brownies. Well, actually, sorry, 2 times ago when they made the playoffs, and then they lost to the Brownies, where they slowly disintegrated throughout the rest of the year. So, could they win? Yes, absolutely. Because, again, this is one team, kind of like with the Bengals, the Ravens are like our kryptonite right now. They're always beating us. So, it's always possible that the Ravens could lose this game, but I think the Steelers will lose it in the end. I think the Chargers beat the Texans. I think the Texans are in a weird spot, and right now, they're not ready for the playoffs. I don't think they're ready for the playoffs. They're kind of like the Steelers here, collapsing at the end of the year. Except I just think that right now the Texans are in a weird spot. So I'm going to go with the Chargers. The Chargers are red hot right now. I have a lot of confidence that they can get the job done. So Chargers beat Texans. All right, so NFC-wise. Vikings versus Rams. Give me the Vikings. I know the Vikings just lost to the Lions. They lost in pretty handily fashion. That game was ugly across the board. But I think that Sam Darnold will win this game versus the LA Rams. I think right now, again, the Vikings, obviously they lost to the Lions, but they're still red hot. I still think they're on a, kind of mission to have this crazy, insane season. And I don't know if anything's going to stop them at this moment in time. Washington versus Tampa Bay. Give me Washington. I know Washington looked really bad today versus the Cowboys. Okay, yesterday versus Cowboys. The Bucs in the end beat the Saints. It's a back and forth game. Bucs in the end actually took the lead in the very end of the game and then scored another touchdown to seal it. Again, this is a game where I feel like the Buccaneers, great, amazing team. But the Commanders, I just feel like they're going to squeak this game out. I feel like it's going to be a very close back-and-forth type of game. And this is not going to be a one-sided game. So, I'm not saying the Commanders are going to blow them out. I think this is going to be something like 27-24 Commanders. It will be a 3-point game, very close to the very, very end. But I think it will go ahead and be that. Packers-Eagles. We have to see what Jordan Love and his situation and where he's at this moment in time. He does, of course, have the elbow injury. He got hurt literally in a no-nothing game versus the Bears where they lost anyway. But this is going to be a tough game. Again, the Packers, last time they played the Eagles in Brazil, the Eagles ended up winning. The Packers almost had a chance at the end of the game, but Eagles ended up winning in the end. I'm going Packers. And I know that's crazy. And Eagles fans, enjoy my comic section. Use it as a fleshlight because I know you're going to. But obviously Jalen Hurts is going to play, okay? Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the league. A.J. Brown, when he's on his game, is an absolute unit. I have this weird feeling about the Packers. I have this weird feeling like the Packers are going to upset at least one team in the playoffs, and I 100% could see it being the Eagles. They did it last year with the Cowboys when they were number 2 seed. And listen, the Eagles are 1,000 times better than the Cowboys. They are 1,000%. Even last year's Cowboys, I think they're 1,000% better. And I said this before when it comes to the Bengals. The one team I was scared of going into the playoffs and vice versa, the Super Bowl, if we made it, was the Eagles. This is a team that scares me the most. This is a team that really just, completely... this is a team that all round is very well-rounded on offense and defense and special teams as well. I just feel like this is a game where the Packers maybe pull off a lucky play here and there, and it ends up coming back to bite them in the end. I know number 7 seed has never beaten the number 2 seed, except for last year when the Cowboys lost to the Packers. I could 100% see the Eagles winning this game. I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I am very, very, on the line about this. So Eagles fans, I know you're going to trash me, but at the end of the day, listen, I'm very on the fence. I'm not saying this is going to be a blowout by any stretch. I mean, this might come down to a 1-point game. Could I see the Eagles winning it? Absolutely, yeah. I could see the Eagles winning this game, but I think the Packers will win it in the end, but I could see the Eagles 100% winning this game. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest for the Eagles to win that game. So now we have number 3 seed versus number 2 seed. We have number 5 seed versus number 1 seed. 6 versus 5, 7 versus 1. Ooh, mama. First off, this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. Packers beat Lions. Yeah, I know. I know that's crazy. I'm telling you, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where I feel like the Packers, this is like their magical year. This is their magical year to figure something out and get something done. And I think that they're going to get this figured out. Give me the Vikings to beat the Commanders. We're talking about an NFC Championship game between the Vikings and Packers. Yeah. I don't know. That's just, again, how I'm feeling like it's going to go. The opposite side. Chiefs versus Chargers. Chiefs win. Chargers, I think you made a good run, beating obviously the Texans and getting to the divisional round. But I feel like this is probably where your run ends, right? I just don't. I think the Chiefs are too good of a team. I'll be honest with you. I know yesterday looked awful versus the Broncos with their backups, but at the end of the day, that was their backups. I think the Chiefs are just beyond right now better than any team in the NFL at this moment in time. And I know they haven't been playing great. They haven't been going out there and doing crazy things, but they just play on a different level. They out-coach people. They outplay people. And they're just a scary team across the board. I think this is very obvious. We're getting back to the Ravens versus Chiefs championship. So let's talk about the AFC and NFC championship game. AFC and NFC championship game. Ravens versus Chiefs. Packers versus Vikings. I think this is very obvious how this is going to turn out. Could the Ravens win? 100%. Yes. I think they could. I 100% think they could win. But the problem I feel like is going to happen is a stupid interception, a stupid turnover by the Ravens at the end of the game, which gives the Chiefs the ball back and the win. Listen, there's no if and a buts. When you play the Chiefs, you play the refs and you play the Chiefs, okay? And it's not an easy feat when it comes to an AFC Championship game, let alone a playoff game. It just gets to a point where it's very, very difficult to beat this team. They have a great coach. They have a great quarterback. I mean, they have a great team in general. So it doesn't help out. But other side, we got Packers versus Vikings. I would love to sit here and tell you that the Sam Darnold Express is going to take a Super Bowl and go win it. But I just don't think that's going to happen. I think the Vikings had a fantastic season. I think they have a really good, situation on their hands. Whether they go with Sam Darnold next year or they go over to J.J. McCarthy, I think it's very obvious what they're going to do. They're going to treat J.J. McCarthy kind of like how the Packers treated Jordan Love behind Aaron Rodgers, where they sat him for 4 years and they waited for the situation to present itself, that they need to move on and they need to get, Jordan Love to be the quarterback and Rodgers needs to go bye-bye. So I think that's kind of how this situation is going to go as well. You're going to have J.J. McCarthy sit behind, in here since Sam Darnold for 4 years. But I think that the situation, again, is just not going to end this season the way they want. So now we have the Super Bowl. Number 1 seed versus number 7 seed. I think the last time we had number 1 versus 7 was when the Patriots went undefeated and the Giants beat them. I think the Giants was a 6 seed, I believe, though, because back in the day we didn't have 7 seeds. So they were technically the 6 seed, but it's the same here sense as the 7 seed in the end because it's the last seeding. This is going to be a insane Super Bowl. But I think we all know how this storybook ends. And like most ending, it's a depressing ending. Yeah. I think that's kind of just how it all goes. I just don't know if anyone right now is good enough to beat the Chiefs. I really don't. Not for a playoff run. Not for a Super Bowl run. I think the Ravens have the best chance in the AFC. But outside the Ravens, I'm just not confident that anyone else can do it in the playoffs. I get the Bills probably have the second best chance, but even then, I'm still a little bit scared of it. For NFC, obviously, no one's going to play Chiefs into the Super Bowl anyway. I think the Lions have a really good chance of beating the Chiefs. I think that's probably the only team, Philly and the Lions, are the only chance to stop the Chiefs from three-peating. But I just don't think there is a situation where anyone else is going to stop the Chiefs. I mean, at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback, Andy Reid's a great coach, and they have a great defense when healthy. So you're just going to have to accept the fact that you're probably not going to stop this team. So it is what it is. We didn't get in, so I kind of expect when we don't get in that this is probably the scenario that ends up happening. Chiefs win it, Chiefs three-peat, and we all sit here and wonder, what if? See you guys in the next one, though. Peace.